chess spoke for itself.
Grab your popcorn because it's the 6th of January 2026, first title Tuesday of the year, and Magnus Spankenson just met with Mr. Nans Niemann, the man that wants to dethrone the world #1, and it was epic as always. One of these guys even goes on to win the entire tournament. Let's dive in on this cracker. Magnus opens with d4, no nonsense here. Now the explosive c4, Queen's Gambit, and the Slav defense, a reputation for being rock solid. Don't tell me Magnus is gonna take. No siree. Brings a knight out. Niemann's so impressed he copies, and pawn g3. It's the Catalan, named after Grandmaster chess-playing cat Alan, long-time second of Magnus. Now we see this bishop developing. Niemann whispers whoosh. We get knight c3 and pawn takes. If you want to keep offering me your mushrooms, I will gobble them, Magnus.
Mushrooms.
You could play knight e5, but bishop g2. Given the question mark, because it's not tip-top cat theory, but who really knows all the lines here, the latest cutting edge, unless your name is Alan. Now, what if you go pawn b5? Important question. Well, knight e5. There's a lot of pressure here. Let's pause it there. It's the general theme of White's response. So we get this and castles. What if now knight b5? Still this. Still it's better for White if you dare enter these lines. So still no b5. Therefore pawn e6, and now Magnus decides to go to Clamptown on the b5 square, and Niemann develops the second bishop all the way out to the 4th rank. Again, given the question, apparently this was better, or starting with this. It's way too subtle for me. Now we get queen c2. Magnus wants a big centre soon, and queen a5 in response. If you now go for this big centre, the black queen can swing all the way over, and it's black standing better. Annoying ideas like this on the way. The centre could be under fire soon. Maybe a well-timed c5. Right, let's back up to the game, because Magnus didn't go for the centre. He played the crafty knight a2. Backwards knight moves, some of the hardest to spot in all of chess. He hits the bishop and opens the queen attack on the pawn. So Niemann backs up, wants to hold on to the legendary bishop bear. You could now take the pawn immediately, but Magnus gets his bits out. It's the way to play at the board. The queen could slide over now. Go for some attacking ideas like we saw before. Very normal actually for Niemann's style, but he decides to hold on to the pawn, force Magnus to win it back here, and knight b4 is now on the board. In a way it looks risky because there's not really a good circuit back, but it works. The queen's attacked. You could sidestep, play a line like this, knight then tiptoes back to d3, white stands a bit better. Nice control of these squares, but Niemann doesn't want to do it. Instead, he takes. Now, it's not a move he will have wanted to play, giving up the bishops and giving up the dark squared control, but here's his point. Bishop f5, queen stepping back to keep the pressure on the pawn. Don't want to come to c3 and maybe run into a knight d5 or e4 or something. Well, knight d5 actually. Immediately, so she steps here, and now bishop e4. So Niemann's holding the pawn. He's about to trade one of the bishops. It does make some sense why he gave up this dark squared one. How's Magnus gonna fight? He starts with rook e1, h6, and knight d2. It's not the best. It allows Niemann to trade bishops. King recaptures, but still the position is tough for Mr. Hands. You can't castle this way. Bishop stopping you. Illegal move. If you try go this way, well, it's just a monster position for White. This could be on the way. Lines of attack might open soon. And long story short, the queen is in a very bad position, way offside. Let's run back. No castles. The energetic c5 on the board, and it's a good move. It looks for play. Magnus takes. Check. You could play f3. Go for this big centre. But Magnus steps back here. What's the best way to go? Castles. Take the opportunity to do it. Niemann instead centralises the knight. And it allows Magnus to simplify down here. He could back up with bishop a3. He considers it, but instead goes for this move, simplifying the position here and playing with a small edge. Now we've got to ask, why not take with the knight? You hold the pawn, keep these queens on the board, go for attacking ideas. Well, the rook can slide, pin, so b6, black's okay, right? No. Queen c3 is a killer double threat move. Hits the pawn on g7 and prepares b4. Black doesn't have a good way to meet all of those threats. So let's run it back. No knight takes. Queen takes. Are you a madman playing it against Magnus? He doesn't take the queens off the board though. He chows down on b7. Delicious. Breaking through. The rooks aren't connected. No one likes split rooks. Queen's hit. Pawn behind it. Surely this is counterplay. Surely you can take here. No. Look at the rise there from Ival Barovic. He knows. Queen chased. And you crash through. And this is horrendous. Lose an entire rook. And with it the game. Knight's nicely covering. Let's run back here. Excuse me. I left my water in the house here. Kind of dying of dehydration. Like a sunburnt camel, but I'm not sunburnt. Queen's attacked there. Queen a5. Knight hit. Queen backing up to defend. Surely now you crash through. What's the problem here? You go to Forktown. Population. Hans Niemann. And that's the game. So we didn't see takes on b2. Knight f6 was played. Rotating. But Magnus is first to the punch. Queen centralising a little more, but let's be honest, she's been all over the shop this game. Now Queen takes on a7 and Rook fc8. You could have technically held on to that pawn a couple moves ago, but it got very passive. Niemann wants the active play here, although this would be loose if you do it too soon. So he starts now after Magnus goes knight e5 with takes with check. Rook recaptures. And he's in a world of pain because Magnus is about to crash through here. And what to do with the defense? This is technically best, but very passive, right? So Rook b7 was played, but the queen now creeps in. Sorry, not queen. Rook with check. King goes. Now the queen enters the position. And it's absolutely ruinous for the black king position because mate in one is threatened. This flight square is taken, so g5 to give room, but now knight d3. What a tasty defensive octopus, almost as tasty as Wesley So's abs. Would you look at them there? Where does the queen go? She heads to b3, looking for a check. Let's make it weird. Rook c1 from Magnus though, not the most incisive move, but it covers the check. And the knight just covers everything. So lovely. So we see king g7. And here we go. Watch this. a6. That one running faster than prime Yasser Serwan. Now we see rook a5. Queen b7. Of course Magnus offers the exchange. Don't do it, Hans. Don't do it. He did it. He took the queens off the board against Magnus Carlsen. Brave, brave boy. Now we see rook b5. Or man, I should say. Not so young these days. Pushing 22, I think. Getting a bit old, dare I say.
He's just going to have to watch me win tournament after tournament. He's going to be too old to even compete. Like, my reign is going to last so long that he's going to be at the age of, like, just like, he can't even walk anymore. And I'm still going to be winning.
Now we see knight c5 here. Defending the pawn. And this is the big trouble. Magnus is going to swing round the rook. Watch this. Rook a1. It is beautiful. If you take my knight, I push the pawn. He's so good, so fast at spotting overloaded pieces. So we see knight e7, swinging around. Still the rook doesn't care about this knight, invades. Finally chess.com wakes up to the brilliancy. The pawn's about to push through. So Niemann goes knight c6 and rook c8 from Magnus. Forces resigns.
Chess speaks for itself.
Because what to do? What's the threat? Well, taking the knight. If you go back, you take the knight. If you take this one, finally, thinking I'm okay. Well, queens takes and you lose a rook. And this is, of course, a one end game. Not only an exchange down, but a passed b pawn. So Hans Niemann throws in the towel. Really, what is there to say? But the chess speaks for itself. Can finally show off the little bit of merch here. If you want to get yourself one of these, check out the link below. I absolutely love it because it speaks for itself. Hope you enjoyed this one. And in case you missed the clash between these two guys played very recently, have a look at the video on screen. Thanks very much for watching and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.
Chess spoke for itself.